Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. The House of Representatives has initiated legislative action to ban commercial surrogacy in Nigeria, proposing a framework that allows for surrogacy solely for non-commercial altruistic purposes only. This development follows the introduction of a bill titled A Bill for the Act of Protect the Health and Well-being of Women, particularly in relation to surrogacy and related matters. The bill, sponsored by Uchenna Okonkwo, the representative of Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State, has recently been presented on the House floor. Do you agree that commercial surrogacy be criminalized, or it's anyone who is willing to pay or charge for our services should be allowed to do so? Join the conversation by calling us on 02016352013, or you can call us on 09024163440. Tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. We're also streaming live on YouTube. You can talk to us through that platform as well. Now, this is a topic very dear to me because I'm still raising funds for the 40 IVF I want to do, and many people cannot qualify because there's no option. Maybe they don't have eggs or stuff. They have to do surrogacy or cervical incompetence, and they say because of how high the cost of surrogacy is, because surrogacy now means you're paying for the surrogate, you're paying for the IVF, you're paying for the medical bills that will come from it. Only those that have a lot of money can afford surrogacy. I feel like it is something we should discuss.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we have two people that can give us from the legal
luminaries
perspective. Does it make sense for us to take this off being funded as some countries have done, or should we leave it to be free for all as it pleases Nigerians to go about it?
Okay, so let's start from the non-legal perspective, the human perspective, which is that everybody has a right to want to bear children if they can, and if they can't, to have an alternative or have another option, right? But then, for the fact that you can have kids, you can make babies, doesn't mean that you're competent enough to be a good parent or to be, to raise a child, because most parents should not be parents, right? And then that's where the law comes into play to be able to protect the kids, the children, and the rights of a child. The same way the adoption agencies are highly regulated, that's the same way this surrogacy should be regulated, because before you adopt, if you can't have a child and then adoption is an option for you, there are certain processes that are in place and procedures and due diligence that you must follow through to be able for them to know that you're competent enough to parent the child, that the child will be safe, the child won't be abused and things like that. Same goes for surrogacy, because people just want to throw out, because for the fact that they have, when they want to throw it out there, commercialize it, and then just have a baby or turn it into a baby factory business for different reasons. So it's important for this sector to be highly regulated. So yes, I'm in support of
a law to be passed.
A law to be passed on that. They are not saying that you can't or you shouldn't, right? They're just trying to say that certain procedures and due diligence has to be followed through. Because even sometimes, for the surrogate mothers, because they're making money out of it, they're even putting their health at risk because they're doing it multiple times. Some of them are even having miscarriages or not carrying the child to full term, or maybe if you've had like 10, I don't know how many children a woman can bear, maybe up to 20 or whatever. But if it's for commercial reasons, the health
tend to do more because they want to make money.
The health of the surrogates should be considered.
Nima is also a personal. It's not personal, but I think that sometimes if there's no stigma attached to it, and a woman has challenges with carrying pregnancy, having a surrogate provides a support. Do you think we should make it illegal to pay for surrogacy?
Commercial
one.
That's what they're discussing here. And we know as a nation, we cannot even pretend from what we have suffered from baby farms and all of that we should not regulate this space. It has to be regulated. We have women being commodified, babies being commodified, people making money, people running a business, an industry from it, and then cleaning up it, and nobody knows. But we have young girls who had their eggs removed, banked by people, they can't even explain it. Some people go into surgery for a different reason, come out of surgery with different other symptoms showing that they've just So they need to. I know we must also criminalize certain areas of the space.
Thank you.
The commercialization might be a bit, I might support fully or, support partly, but we must criminalize where a person's interest is not fully, or consent is not fully bought into. The person does not have full understanding of it. And it is something that we should also run the way we run. We did not even know that donation of kidney can lead to jail until we had our senator jailed abroad.
Because we don't have that law here. They have the law there.
We have the laws, but we don't have a system where we even see it being prosecuted daily. Yes. People still freely go into areas because of non-regulation of the sector and volunteer to sell toes. There was a documentary, I think a BBC documentary. Africans are now selling their...
You say toes?
Toes.
Fingers.
Fingers. Yes.
To make money.
To make money. Yeah. We've left organ to our physical, So people are selling all sorts of things. We need to clean up well. We need to not only legislate on this, we must also enforce the areas we already have that, criminalizes some of these practices.
I didn't know we had an organ donation, a bill that covers organ donation.
We have laws that limit all of those things. Remember, we had the lawyer that was on the show and said it was not for lack of laws. But what we needed to do was have a proper regulation of this entire space. That, we must. People now commodifying children is something that is...
No, that was children is a product right now.
But because we commodify, kids there was a boy that went missing and showed up somewhere in the East. He had been sold for 1.2 million. I saw the headline yesterday.
It happens every day.
Wow. So
we take the stories.
He went missing in Abuja and he was sold. If we don't have that business, people patronizing that business, why would such a thing happen?
Okay, so what I understand from the bill is they want to stop commercialization of surrogacy, which means that for you to want to be a surrogate, you will not be paid for carrying the baby, but you'll be taken care of. And you have to have volunteered to do it, right? That's the one that they want to promote, but the one that they now bring you in and they pay you for carrying that child will be abolished, right? And I beg to differ with the government. This is solving an infertility problem. Let's double back a bit to one of the reasons why we have many baby factories in the country. Many people have tried to get children from adoption homes. And we know how Herculean that thing is. I had a family friend one time who kept going and kept going. They kept coming to verify her, check her husband. They had good jobs. They had a good business. She was mentally stable. She kept going and going and going and going. It took years. At some point, she was already giving up that, why is this thing stressing me this way, right? So many people who are not patient would find an alternative, especially if they have money. If they made it as seamless as it should be, as long as they do the proper checks and they realize that you are able to take care of a child, and it's that seamless, I don't think many rights-minded people want to go through the baby factories or the baby farms. And aside from the fact that we also have the issue of stigma with adoption and all of that as a culture, right? But when somebody says, I volunteer, I really personally do not think that they would catch somebody and force the person to do surrogacy. I don't think. So the many people that I've seen who have, ployed or toyed with the option of surrogacy is that I have seen somebody who is willing to carry for me. There was a time I was having that conversation with my husband and I met a doctor and I was asking questions. How will this happen? Say, we will get you the person. She will do all of the tests, blah, blah, blah. This is the fee that is going to come for her upkeep. This is the fee that she's going to get at the end of the day. Because the truth of the matter is somebody cannot, even if I love you so much that I want to bet for you, after I've done all the treatment and I should have a form of compensation because something went through my body. We don't carry how many. We know how your body scatters and rearranges for a very long time before you start getting your body back. So if you say you're going to take out the payment because it's commercialized, I don't think that's the way we should be looking at it as a country. Fantastic. Are you rushing me? Should I continue?
Let me
I've not finished it.
We have finished it.
Oh, are they rushing you?
Finish what you want to say.
Okay, so if you say we are going to go heavy on regulation, the agencies that are going to be doing this would highly be regulated. They have to be registered with the government. We are going to monitor what goes on there. The people that are going to be surrogates have to be registered. We are going to make sure that the compensation that is promised will go to them. Nobody is coming back at the end of the day and leaving the baby and saying, you gave birth to a boy, I was expecting a girl, and all of that. If we say the government should pay attention to that so that the industry is regulated, that is making more sense than saying you don't want any form of commercialization. Then a lot of people will go under the radar, because even if I want to carry baby for you, I should have a form of compensation after all the stress.
Okay, so we have this opinion and we have another opinion. Some people, I am of the opinion that it should be taken off being commercial. It should be strictly altruistic. When we come back, I would explain why I feel it should be altruistic. But as we're going on this break, I want to let everybody know that we're going to be going on a live transmission. This live transmission will be going on TVC News, so you can still watch us on the TVC Entertainment, or you can watch us on YouTube. We're going to be showing the Delta State House of Assembly sitting. This is an invitation. We are covering it right now. And it'll be on for the next 2 hours. So please just join us online on YouTube, and you're able to catch the show as we continue with the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. So before we went to the break, VC had mentioned the fact that the woman's body goes through a lot of pain, a lot of challenges. The truth is, I also share the fact that pregnancy and delivery is like life and death. Like you're in between, you might just die. And a lot of women have died. In Nigeria, we top the number of maternal mortality. So there's no avoiding the fact that going through that process is a sacrifice.
Okay.
But I'm of the opinion, because I have, in the past 3 months, spoken to several families that cannot even afford IVF. Now, remember, surrogacy means that you can afford to pay for IVF and then pay the person carrying baby for you. So automatically, we have taken many families going through challenge off the opportunity to do this. When we make it strictly altruistic, it means that I am willing to help my friend. I'm willing to help my sister. I had one of my cousins, she was begging her sister that I would carry the pregnancy for you because I know the challenge. She knows the challenge her sister is going through. That is like, genuinely, is not abuse. The only way we can prevent abuse is when we remove commercial benefits, because somebody can have high blood pressure and say, this 5 million or 10 million they want to pay me for surrogacy will end my suffering. I would go through that thing that can kill me and carry the pregnancy because of money. People have donated kidney, not donated, they have sold their kidney. Even when they know that it's like you sell your kidney and then in future you now need kidney. You sell your liver. People we have turned everything to business. I feel like carrying a pregnancy should not be a business. Donating your body parts should not be a business, because once you do it, you cannot prevent abuse.
I was a bit confused earlier. I thought you were supporting BC and then...
No, I'm not. It's a painful process. So it is something that should be, I am making this sacrifice for you. I am doing it because I care. I know you. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be based on
the argument of reproductive autonomy for women, the right to make choices of their bodies and all of that. But when we bring it down here, they have some laws that, will take care of certain loopholes in their legislation on that particular one. But when you come here, the line is thin between exploitation and that reproductive autonomy.
Exactly.
See this boy that he went to UK with. He was voluntarily donating that kidney for a fee.
Yes. But
the moment he crossed over, I open say, I like say UK better pass Nigeria. He changed his story. He changed his story to a pretty story. He's a trader. He was, nobody now talked about the arrangement
they had in the beginning.
That they had. Even if he had a document which the senator failed to show, he would have, still gone with that his asylum seeking story, and he would have won. So that thin line is why it is even in our favor to not commercialize.
Yes.
To have laws that criminalizes that commercialization. I have a beautiful pregnancy body. It's beautiful, no stretch marks, nothing. If I like, let me born 6. I have had several pregnancies, 2 kids. You will not know when I come outside from my body.
You too fine, safe.
Yes, pregnancy looks good on me. And so I would voluntarily do it for a family, friend, anyone. Voluntarily, lovingly do it. And if everybody can look at it from that point of view, we'll even be a better society.
Exactly.
You know your friend's struggle, rather than make a talk about it, make an offer around it. You know the child in question. We raise communal kids, so you can know the child, visit the child. You know there's an Islamic practice of nursing.
Helping somebody to nurse.
So if I nurse Amaka's baby, for instance, I'm a first-time mother of that baby for life. That baby is tied to me. So there'll be no chance or room for the ingratitude that people fear. That child, as long as that child prays for Jannah with Amaka, he will do the same for me.
Yeah, because you are part of this.
So we can bring such, and we can, extol such advantages around this. Than as opposed to
making it
monetizing anything.
I have a question for this. No, I have a question.
I would like Amaka to even, because she was talking about everything not rewards not necessarily being money.
So first off, I understand the compassionate perspective that you're coming from. Like I was saying, you want people to volunteer. Why am I going to volunteer to a total stranger to help you? For example, I'm coming for 9 months. Most people.
Why not?
So some people have.
If a solo stranger gets accident for road,
Nima, you talk about community because that's how you were raised. Not everybody has a sense of community or have the privilege of having family or a sense of community. Unfortunately, so the world is not like that. There are some people that are actually alone. There are some people that don't have family or close relatives or people that can do stuff for them. There are some people that all their life they have to pay for friendship. They have to pay for stuff.
That's not right.
No, but that's the reality of life. That's life, right?
That's
so what happens to those kind of people? They need to get things done. And then we also need to take into perspective that when it comes to commercialization and we're talking about paying somebody for something, people get paid. There are different ways of paying for something. It mustn't necessarily be money. It can be favors. Somebody can have a sick parent at the hospital and say, you know what, I'm going to take care of your sick parent, but then I need you to do this X favor for me by carrying this child.
That's exploiting.
Exactly. How do we prevent abuse when we put money on the table?
But what I'm trying to say is that unfortunately, just like every other place in the world where in civilized countries where there's no transfer of cash, but favors are being done. That's the reality.
There's no free lunch even in Freetown.
Yes, very few people are actually, it's only like sisters, family people, very few people are actually doing this out of voluntary means or whatever. There's always something a bit exchange.
No, not really. Okay, but let me take Shegun. I'll take Shegun's call because I know that many people get donations of their kidney donors and all of that without money being paid. Welcome to the show, Shegun. Mr. Olusegun from the UK, can you hear us? You're live.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
I tend to agree with Nima, You need to balance the argument that the woman is going to undergo a lot of risk when carrying pregnancy and the fact that it shouldn't be commercialized. Because if you allow commercialization, it's taking a floodgate effect, where, you find it difficult to eventually cut down on the abuse. And as for Bibi, I think he also has a point. But later listen to Nima's argument. You need to balance it, and that is my contribution.
Thank you. Nima's argument is Nima's argument.
Speaking, please, the moderator, try and allow them to speak because they do make, all of you make sensible contributions, and I like your diversity, the way you are. You are very independent in your thinking and analysis. So we like to listen to everybody.
Thank you so much.
That is my contribution. I wish you well, and I wish Amaka a happy birthday.
Thank you. All right.
So I've listened to Nima's arguments. There's what they call the ideal, and there's what they call the reality. Most time in our heads, because of how we're raised, how morally upright we have been, how our parents have, put heads together to say this is how the society should be, this is how it should be. Most times we have an ideal that we hope that this is what will translate to society. But if you look underneath all of the beliefs and hopes that we have of a better nation, you will see the reality of what really goes on. And from what I've seen in this life, right, in these small years that I've lived on this earth, I've realized that there's no free town, no free lunch in Freetown. Nobody does anything for free without an expectation. The expectation may not be disclosed, it may not be written, it may not be discussed, but there's a hanging expectation somewhere that because I've done this for you, one day, you have an opportunity to do one for me. And that's why a lot of people get heartbroken when after they have done something sacrificial, and then maybe the person now misbehaves and you hear, after all I have done for you. If you had no expectation, you will not use that statement when things scatter, right? So for safety and protection of everyone involved, I personally would like to make things more
make
open.
It pure business.
Make it, yes. It's not like it has to be business, but just put some things for the protection of everybody at the end of the day. We have seen situations where somebody decided to carry for sister. At the end of the day, she realized that, no, please, that is my baby. And before they realized what was happening, the man had to go behind to be packing the sister. So what do we do again? Let's just marry her and put her in the house. Breaking the first wife's heart at the end of the day. This is sister to sister. And this is somebody that said, okay, let me sacrificially do it for you. So even sisters can break your heart. What about an outsider or someone who's not maybe a family member but not so close, not an immediate family member? Friends can break hearts. Things can happen. Relationships don't work out anymore. At that point, you see this, our lovey-dovey sacrificial, you will now start saying, no, I was the one that did this, I was the one that did that, I need a form of compensation. So why don't we just make it in such a way that what I want government to do is to heavily sit on that industry and say, we are going to regulate every agency that is involved, will be registered with us, will regulate you, will follow up, will make sure that whatever has been promised will be delivered. People are not exploited, people are registered, people are protected within the ambit of the law. Because if you want to take it away from commercializing it, people will go under the radar. Now we have baby factory. By that time, we now have surrogate factory under the radar, and things would happen because people are desperately looking for children.
So we'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll discuss what we want to be in the bill. So obviously there's going to be a bill. I think it's important there's a law, a framework, a legal framework for this thing called surrogacy. What should be in that bill? What shouldn't be in that bill? That's what we'll discuss when we come back from the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. It's really hot in the studio on this argument of should we be paid, should we not be paid. But before we go into what I said, which is what should be in the bill, Nima wanted to respond to this.
You know, it's like this is not in this Nigeria that materialism have killed all our children. She's not seeing how young girls get pregnant while they're trying to go around, sell their babies and turn it into a business. This entire transactional way of doing things, dealing with things, materialism, has led us to where we are today. It's made our economy more expensive to run, our lives more expensive to run. Everybody looking for one way or the other. What till you do for me? What can I get out of it? When we were raised, those days, we saw our parents do things for people, not because they knew the rewards were coming. I was raised to think that leave the reward for God. And if the person becomes ungrateful, move on. Because that reward is not with the person to give you. Is a Yoruba saying. Things can't remain the same for 20 years amongst people. It takes special being to be grateful, to be non-transactional in friendship for years. You saw this mentality of there must be something you are looking for. How about you're just looking for companionship in your old age? Can that be monetized? You know? So, yes, I was raised. I have 3 mothers that sat at my wedding. Oh, yeah, and they didn't born me. Do you know that I still pay? I still pay. I go, you don't check the other mama, you don't check the other one. I have those,
but I
benefit from it much more than they even do from me. We talk about Yolu. How much can I pay Yolu for the kind of love she's giving my kids? So it's just, to keep that friendship alive, to mention to my kids, no, this woman took you from me when you were 2 months old. From 6 months old till date, this woman has been there for it. And I do it all the time. I remind my kids. I don't allow family members to make me forget it. Because, now things are now, everybody now come and say, it was us. So, no, it wasn't you. That's how you keep it alive. And I pray and hope that in case I grow old and my kids outgrow or I pass before, that they do not burn that bridge. They always remember it. It is a thing that was cultural in Auchi, that you hear the history of how families were helpful. At my own wedding, my father was talking to my father-in-law about how their fathers built each other's house with farmlands and hoped that their kids will marry. And none of their own first kids achieved it until we met in Lagos and married each other. And so we are now represent. Some of these things, we don't love those things anymore. You put it outside there, people will line up on the comments and say, now like this, now they do something. Because people don't see the beauty of it anymore. We don't beautify those things. We don't beautify selflessness. We don't beautify those things anymore. So every transactional arrangement has led us here. I was a law intern at a small law firm. A 13-year-old got pregnant by her boyfriend, walked out of the house, walked back in after 9 months without the baby. And the father went to Area A at first to make sure that complaint was dealt with. Where is the pregnancy? Where is the baby? How is it exactly? And they found that she was nursing. She was, lactating. So we cannot continue to do things like we must put in ways of changing even the orientation of our people from transactional mindset back to, to more things that keep societies.
Those that have money,
societies we praise, the Malaysia and all of that that run without mostly transactional mindset. We praise them. When we go there, we say that, we don't think our people were like that before colonial masters.
We will go into what should be in the law, because obviously there will be, like Namaka said, their money is exchanging hands, even if it is not cash. Favors might exchange hands, but if we don't create a structure...
can be built. It's not only favors.
All right, let me take Oge. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oje, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, this is Oje from Oniali. My contribution is that I think I'm in support of what Bisky is saying, because the stress of pregnancy, I know what my wife went through when she was married, when she was pregnant. Understand? The stress of pregnancy is so much and so enormous than for us to see that anybody who is going to carry pregnancy for somebody should not be, the person should be seriously compensated.
Yeah. Seriously compensated.
Yes. Yes. And because I think it would be unfair after all of you are women now. I understand what I'm saying very, very more than myself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oje. Thank you so much, Mr. Oje. So I hear, honestly, I know that I have my opinion, which is that it shouldn't be commercialized, but I also understand every perspective. And there's something being said that because of the fact that it takes its toll on women. That's not all women. Some women, they go through pregnancy like a breeze. From like nothing happened, like it's like they don't even do anything.
See, because it did not take a toll on you physically, does not mean it doesn't take a toll on you mentally.
So, but in establishing that, in establishing
because a pregnancy takes a toll on you,
anyway, mentally,
you are paid or
physically,
not, whether you are married or not.
The value of the marriage,
let me just land
is what is keeping me there.
The opinion, yes, and I'll come to you, Amaka. What I wanted to bring out is the fact that we have people who can do it. We have those that it is work. There's a story that went viral about husband begging woman third time to help carry pregnancy for someone because of the money. So this is a family that has capitalized on the woman as a means to bring money in.
His wife.
Commodified the ability of the woman to carry pregnancy for the house. These are the things that we want to cover by creating a legal framework, protecting the interest of everybody involved. We took a case in the papers where a man, a family, paid someone for, they said they will pay for surrogacy and they will cover the bill, they will take her abroad. Between the time when the pregnancy happened, the wife got pregnant and they abandoned the woman that got pregnant through surrogacy with the child. We took the story.
Yes.
And that person, so we
do
need a law. What I want us, because we're running out of time, what are the things we want to cover with the law?
Okay. So I'm going to answer that, but I want to also come from the perspective, if I answer that, which is, you know, when we talk about surrogacy now in a certain form, and then we need to also remember the culture. We're cultural people and we're Nigerians. And back in the day, we have a history, like in the Igbo land, where a woman can marry, like can cover other women to have kids for her. It is legal culturally, because my great-grandmother was so wealthy. She married, like they call it, like you marry other women, you pay the bride price for other women, and they had kids for her and bore her name. That's so culturally, that is permissible. So it depends on how you want to go about this. But maybe because of how things are going on now with the surrogates and the way they're making it look, but this has always been the norm. And then people can still go back to the cultural way of doing things by saying, it's not my husband that is marrying these women. I'm the one doing it, and they're having the babies for me. And I'm keeping the baby. The kids are my own, right? But then let me come to you in terms of the regulation, what should be in the bill. Nigerian, unfortunately, we have a way of always jumping the gun. We before taking this first step or second step, we go to 100 steps. First of all, let's talk about data. How much data do we have about the women in Nigeria first, right? Secondly, when women go to the hospital to have kids or for maternity care, is there data? Are they registered there? Do they have their NI number? Do they put their passport or identification? Just like, for example, in China, before you go from one province to the other, whether you're going by road, train, whatever, it indicates you check in and they know that you're in this province, and then they scan you, they have your picture, how you came in or whatever. So for people that want to go to villages, for example, to go and hide for 9 months or take people there to have babies, there's a data that shows what's going on. There's a data that shows how many times you've been pregnant and how many kids you've had for them to now know that are you commercializing this thing. So the problem in Nigeria, with all the money we have, is that we don't do step 1, step 2 before going to step 100. We want to just jump to 100.
Criminalize.
So when you now criminalize this thing and make this bill into a law, how do you now fact check what you have spent so much time and energy and stressing everybody to do?
My sister.
Impossible. It's not this, we don't have the structure to enforce the law.
So why do something that is not going to
that is
take us anywhere, right? That's not going
to.
So please.
Thank you.
Amaka,
Let's
you
not
have
start there.
really finished the conversation. Even me that I have been fighting for the law. Right now, I am weak because Nima and Amaka educated us, as well as the guests that came on the show, about the fact that we actually have a law against human organ paying for organs, and we have not implemented it. So even if we do this law now, it might not get implemented because we don't have data. We need to go back to the foundation and start sorting out data.
So
I will come back to no, I want to come back. Bisi has started, she has entered something. Bisi started talking about how much money. Come back to you now on this.
I've not been shouting money. I'm just saying everything in life is transactional. Even those days we're calling, there was a reason they decided to marry you because of what you were bringing, whether it's monetary, whether it's connection, whether it's family values. You were bringing something to the table. It has always been transactional. Society has always been transactional from even the times of old. It's just that now, because we are materialistic and we're seeing the physical cash, everything is now being translated into cash. But we have always been transactional.
I agree.
Even to salvation says, you go buy Bible. It's not free. Now money that they use buy Bible. You go pay tithes, you go pay offering. What are we talking about? Everything, even the salvation, we didn't pay for them. Everything has been transactional. What we're saying, and I get Nima's point, is that for me, the way we can protect people from Nima's angle, where she's seeing it, is that we make policies and regulations so that, because everybody who is going to be betting for somebody will definitely have to be an adult who has made a decision. They don't put gun for my neck to take carry belle for you. I have chosen to do it.
And if they renege, now, you can then go to court and there's a framework.
I've chosen to do it. And in my choosing to do it for you from the magnanimity of my heart is that at some point you will protect me from whatever it is that is chasing me in life. We are struggling in this part of the world. You see other people where they wake up, just go and donate blood. Because food, they are fridge when they finish. You don't go expect person where they hustle for daily bread. You never even know what you go chop the next day. What in children go chop the next day. May go sit down, they donate blood. Offense is here there. So our society has not gotten the basics for majority of people. Now, people are now looking for ways to, how do I help myself? How do I sort out myself? Okay, I have this ability, it's easy for me. Can I do this and sort out myself? You cannot now start flogging them when you have not given them a framework to at least have a semblance of living.
How do we promote kindness?
We are picking, live kindness, we are kind. For me to want to carry for you, I'm kind. Whether you are giving me something or not, it's kindness. Because I can choose not to carry for you and keep my womb.
So I'm asking,
so
I'm not talking about the pregnancy alone. I'm saying, how do we promote the culture of kindness as a country, that even when you are hustling, how do we promote that culture of this is my last bread? This is my last bread. We don't do that. That's your last bread, and we break it.
Yes, we break it.
Ordinate. So are we going to wait? Are we going? Abaka, please. I know you get this, but are we going to now draft this contract, this document, and put room for frustration? Like the man whose wife now got pregnant, he now says that, oh, the means I have was to pay you, but if I check my account, I cannot have 2 children at once. I cannot be responsible for 2 diapers because my surrogate mother is pregnant, but my wife later got pregnant, and I don't want 2 babies.
That's where the regulation comes in.
That's why we must legislate. We must legislate these things. We can't. I'm only saying this so that women don't start to look at it only from the mindset of material gains. Nothing can compensate a woman for her body, not even love. Yes. All of us, we get belly born for our husband for love. We dey here. We are in our 40s now, realizing that something has given.
Yes, so true.
Your body can never be the same.
Never.
So forget that when money go finish.
But now you hold the picking, there's a difference.
Hold on to something more tangible, something that makes more sense, and not what can finish. Imagine the love of someone you didn't raise, the respect of a child you didn't raise. Go up north, you see these cultures. I don't think you can monetize things like that.
No, we are not saying you should monetize it.
My final one to answer you is that when you ask that question, is for me to ask another question, to throw the question to you and to the audience and to Nigerians at large. So how do we, if you're asking a question, how do we rebrand Nigeria? You're talking about how do we inculcate kindness,
empathy.
How do we, since I was a child, Nigeria go better, leaders of tomorrow, we still there here. How do we rebrand Nigeria? It's the same. So it takes one person at a time. By me showing kindness, you showing kindness, and the same way, that's the same way we're going to rebrand Nigeria. Same context. And then if we're not rebranding Nigeria, it's for how many years? Till today. So this one, you say, hunger is
I know you should start to do more awareness on the benefits of just being
protection.
Kind. I was giving the example that if the person get accident, go help her. Must you know the person
now? People actually drive past accidents.
We didn't
used to be like that. We didn't used to be like that.
The good Samaritan for Bible, how many people drive past him?
Oh Jesus!
But somebody stopped. So everybody cannot be where you are.
Can we promote the person who stopped as opposed to the number of people that passed?
Exactly. There are cultures, there are countries that have made it a culture that nobody would even pass.
Yeah,
they will always stop.
Let me tell you why, sweetheart.
In place.
Yes, it's the system.
Yes.
So now if I stop for you, I now carry you and go to the hospital, they hold me there. Wait, they hold me there. Where did you carry this person? Before I know, I don't enter police, I don't enter cell. Tomorrow you tell me to stop.
BC, the mindsets of this, which is where majority of Nigerians which is bad experience, defensive, I don't want to be caught there, is keeping us from even thinking creatively of the kind solutions that can come up. Why have we've been playing lip service? I've mentioned it yesterday, I'm mentioning it again today, because I know that someone around me lost a driver last week. And that was because when we got to the hospital, they said they deposit money. There was no blood. Second hospital, dropped 2 million naira. Oga say he no get 2 million naira. By the time they go to third hospital, they give drip, blood no day. They find blood flying, but the person died. Their lives are being lost in Nigeria every day because everybody is thinking, when I get there, I make money, I sort my family. Because if you go to big hospitals, they will find blood though.
Thank you, but you will pay.
But we have now created a culture that is so selfish, self-centered, everybody is fighting for their pockets while living the rest, anyhow, be yourself. We need to change that mindset. And we cannot say it is leaders alone. Shows like this, platforms like this would reorientate people to start thinking, maybe I should not, maybe I shouldn't. Family meetings are happening and people are asking their daughters to go and carry belle so that the family can make money. We don't want to become that kind of country. We're already there. We don't want it to become more prevalent. We need to start asking ourselves the real questions, the values, the sacrifice, the kindness. We might not see it in our leaders. And we shouldn't repeat that same circle. That's what me I'm canvassing for.
I agree with you. We will not see it in our leaders, but it's difficult because we don't have influence, right? There's a level to the influence that we have. Exactly. So she can change her little corner in her community. You change yours. Yes. I change mine. I change mine.
Over time, it might spread.
If the people who are supposed to be in charge of the majority are not deliberately changing the system with intentionality and making laws and putting systems in place, we will be talking here for the next 20 years and nothing has changed because they have a larger influence. Exactly. So that's why I like when we're having such conversations, we direct it to the people who wield the power. We can only shout, we can only do our bit, but the people who wield the power will be the ones to make the lasting change that will trickle down.
So final words, we can remove them. Who have the power. What do we want the people that have power to do?
I believe the people who have the power are you and me, and whatever we're doing within our corners of kindness and empathy, the reward is not something that we must be publicized or lauded. I was gracious to someone. This person, I consider this person, everybody had said, you know, this person is bad, but I showed grace. And the person turned out to do the same.
Bad thing.
I've been hearing all the stories and I just face my front. Because in life, you sometimes get rewarded. Sometimes you don't get rewarded. You move on. And I'm not even willing to explain or shalaye or anything. Just move on. Learn to do good no matter what. And if your person is nearest to you and you think that being a carrier for their baby can help them, do it and see whether it will bring you any reward. But if you monetize it, you've taken your reward. And so so be it. What if tomorrow you come around and they say, no, this relationship was completely over the day you took your money? How do you see it?
My last words, I'm a realist. It's not about me or you sitting down here. It's about our leaders doing the right thing, making policies in place, creating data. We have all it takes to take our country to the next level. It took China 25 years, between 15 to 25 years to get. There was no structure. There was no top building in China 25 years ago. Look at them now. Look at how much they have achieved today. So we have the resources, we have the minerals, we have everything it takes to be a great country.
So this
has nothing to do with whether you're being kind, not being kind. We should do the right thing, put systems in place, and things will work.
Kindness will just flow.
Yes, I agree with Amaka. Systems are what we need for the many changes that we are clamoring for. While we preach our kindness in our own little corner, whether we get the reward or not, some people are waiting to go to heaven to get their reward. Some people want their reward here, and it's okay. Your needs and wants are valid. If I want to collect my own now and you want to wait till you get to heaven, that's also fine. As long as we are adults and we are making the choices and standing by the choices that we make. Government, we just need more regulation. We need more of your systems in place to protect the vulnerable so that people like hawks will not use them against their will and defraud the system. That's all we need. Not to jump into criminalizing things that have been working for our forefathers. Let's calm down on that.
Thank you, ladies, for an amazing show. I feel that we've all spoken from different points of view, and our leaders, people that are passing this law, already know that there is going to be divergent view concerning any bill. It's going to be about majority and protecting the interest of the vulnerable. Let's put that. Let's not make a law in isolation. Adoption is slow in Nigeria.
Very slow.
Adoption is almost impossible to be carried out. So we're giving room for an industry called Baby Factory. Let the leaders actually take a holistic look towards solving this infertility challenge and all the other things that come around it. That way, we're not making one law in isolation. And then, most importantly, laws are just papers if it is not implemented. Let us implement the laws we already have. Thank you so much for your contributions towards this show. The conversation never ends, so you can still continue the conversation online. Till we meet again tomorrow, have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.